The central core of the galaxy. Stopping central core galaxy. Let's talk about what can happen if the large central core, located in the center of the galaxy, stops and does not rotate. Some scientists continue to call the nucleus rotating in the center of the galaxy a black hole, but this is no longer entirely true. How long will the black hole located in the center of the galaxy remain a black hole, and after that, this black hole will become the central galactic core? In other publications, I will try to express my point of view, why it is the nucleus, and not the black hole, that rotates at this stage of transformation in the center of the Milky Way galaxy. Many people living on a planet called just the Earth push all the most negative things into the realm of the impossible, for later, and there is nothing bad and sad about it, and try not to think about it. For a broader understanding of reality, they will have to move their thoughts to another, possible reality that does not yet fit into their minds. The worst thing for Earthlings, and for various inhabitants, possibly living on other planets in the galaxy, can happen when, for example, something happens to the Sun, in their solar system. If the Sun suddenly begins to expand, depleting its entire supply of hydrogen, incinerating nearby planets. Or, for example, their sun will begin to go out, plunging all the material worlds existing in the galaxy into cold and darkness. But no less terrible can happen for all living and material being on the planets in the galaxy, if suddenly the central galactic core stops rotating. Many people, busy with their urgent earthly affairs, are so sure that what is happening in the center of the galaxy is eternal that you don't even need to think about it. What can happen if the central core of the galaxy stops and does not rotate? Due to the complete stop of the rotation of the central core, a lot of bad things can happen, but for now I want to highlight only 3 important, in my opinion, points. What happens if the central core of a galaxy stops spinning? First, the galactic magnetic fields moving along their circumference will cease to be generated. Second, the magnetic rotating excitation of microparticles in the microworlds located in the galaxy will not be created due to the termination of the force magnetic field produced by the central core of the galaxy. This generated magnetic field causes small particles such as electrons, protons, and other microparticles to rotate around their nuclei, thereby supporting and stabilizing the material structures that exist on planets in planetary galactic worlds. All this may stop due to the stoppage of the rotation of the central core in the galaxy. Third, the material worlds, without the influence of the galactic magnetic field emanating from the rotating core located in the center of the galaxy, will begin to change in the near future, after the stop of this core. Subsequently, after the passage of time, without a permanently acting stabilizing galactic magnetic force field and its influence on everything materially existing in the galaxy, material worlds can simply disintegrate into small constituent microparticles in this stopped microworld, without rotation of microparticles around their micronuclei, holding and linking the forms of everything materially existing in the galaxy. In the macro-COSM, due to the stoppage of the central galactic nucleus, the planets around their stars located in the galaxy will stop rotating, and in the macro-COSM, it will look like a pulling out of the entangled molten substance of the galactic substance located next to the galactic ring of the once functioning galaxy. What, perhaps, the immutable galaxies, material worlds, with cities, houses, skyscrapers, parks, stadiums, cars, etc., once represented on planets in solar systems, i.e., everything materially existing in the galaxy, together with the solar systems and their planets, that which is now taken for granted, and unchanged on the planets, without the constant impact on it of the galactic force magnetic field emanating from the central core in the galaxy, will lose its stabilizing base over time, and simply, all this will cease to exist, in those physical forms that existed before. In this case, the tales that we simply exist, because it is necessary, will no longer have their further material continuation, as well as the happiness of the Earth. The central core in the galaxy does not just rotate, it creates, and stabilizes by its rotation an area of influence. In the zone of its magnetic field, it provides the possibility of the existence of any material life, everything material, and materially existing. So believers, you first need to pray not to the one that is somewhere out there, far in the sky, but to the one that rotates in the center of the Milky Way galaxy, at superluminal speed, for billions of years. Yes, I was not mistaken, rotation can occur, namely at super light speeds in vacuum, although scientists known on Earth have limited the existence of such similar speeds in vacuum. The central rotating nuclei, in galaxies, for everything materially existing on the planets, can be a real, and near God, of course in quotation marks, on which the existence of not only the material world, on planet Earth, but also all possibly existing worlds in galaxy. People on Earth arrive in some kind of spatio-temporal confidence, convincing themselves of the importance of their urgent affairs, therefore, they have no time to somehow react to what I have voiced in this publication. Why should busy people react at all to something that has been spinning for billions of years in the center of the galaxy? People might say, "What do you mean? Why do we need to know about this, about everything, when we ourselves, our own, real worries abound? Enough to tell us here about the sad, and not real. It cannot even be called a fairy tale, what you have told us here, that we are all dependent on some kind of nucleus rotating in the center of the galaxy. Everything that exists is given to all of us, along with life, and therefore, the core, as you say, rotating in the center of the galaxy, cannot stop at all. To think, and even more so to rack one's head, about what rotates there, in the center of the galaxy, or does not rotate, Why should we think about it? We need earthly happiness and fun, because a person appears on earth for happiness. For some reason, many people take the rotation of the central galactic core for granted, which has been rotating, somehow, for billions of years, which means that it will also continue to rotate. People limited in their thoughts see a problem that can happen due to some kind of emergency, but stopping the galactic core rotating in the center of the galaxy will be the most terrible situation that can deal with everyone who may live in planetary, material worlds in this galaxy. Reasonable people would immediately think about why in the central part of some galaxies there are jumpers, as they are called by scientists on planet Earth, and in most other galaxies, only one central core rotates. The answer suggests itself, but let's leave this topic with jumpers for reflection and continue. I am clarifying. To create, form and maintain the necessary magnetic disturbance that affects the micro and macro worlds in the material worlds, an individual additional magnetic force field is needed, which is created by the nuclei of autonomous galaxies. Due to the different direction of rotation of the nuclei of galaxies, different, individual material worlds are formed and exist. Diversity as an addition, without which the universe cannot exist. Because of this diversity, and more specifically, because of the differences, the potentials of gravitational fields, and there is an interdependent universal system. Galaxies, with their individual magnetic fields, formed due to the rotation of their galactic nuclei, allow the formation of material worlds throughout the entire universe, even in the far corners of the universe at the boundaries of the universe's influence. Where the core that created the magnetic field will exist and rotate, the galaxy itself will subsequently be created, with its magnetized rotating solar systems, with their planetary worlds. In order for the material worlds to be formed, the necessary, certain power, level, of the gravitational magnetic potential of the magnetic force field must be present. I repeat. The galaxies provide this immediate additional power required by their gravitational magnetic fields, due to the rotation of their central nuclei, creating an enveloping zone of their relative, close field influence, necessary for the creation of material worlds in solar systems. The universal core, which is far away, will not be able to provide the gravitational magnetic fields with the necessary power, in which the material worlds could be formed, say, on its distant, universal outskirts. From the author. There are no limits to knowledge for those who will try to solve the riddle of the universe. The unusual will always frighten with its non-reality, especially those who are not yet ready for this knowledge, until they have a desire to learn something else so that they can be compared and contrasted with what everyone knows about. Questions should appear, to which, with the growth of consciousness, answers will also appear, leading to an understanding of the principles of existence. Anatoly Sem, September 5, 2022.